Redesigning Hornet from Silksong with her red tools. I wanted to run this back because you guys liked the other redesign videos for the little knight. I got this idea from HF Slow Decay, check them out in the description below. And before we start, if the tools have similar abilities or design wise, I will just be combining them. There's no point to do the same thing, just recolor. So yeah, also watch till the end because I have an announcement for you guys, and you guys might actually like it because it might involve Hornet or the little knight, so look out for that. And we are starting off with these four: the straight pin, the threefold pin, sting shard, and the long pin. The straight pin is a light throwing tool designed for rapid attacks. This one I love using here and there. It's not my favorite though. But the threefold pin is a flat, layered weapon crafted to be thrown in a set. This one I love using. It's a little better than the straight pin in my opinion because, you know, there's three of them. And the sting shard is a lethal trap formed of tightly bound blades. Once placed, the trap will pierce enemies that come into contact. And this one I love using a lot, especially when you're in biowater. Holy hell, that place is hell, literally. The long pin is a weighted pin and haft, formed to pierce through tough shells. This one I never really use, but personally to me they all have a similar ability or design, so I combined them into one. With the redesign part of this, I wanted to use the long pin as the middle part of the vase to separate all the other nails from left to right, using it as Hornet's cloak. But I also wanted to use a red type of string as her scarf on top to mimic the long pin. And the sting shard. This was the final design. Next up is Tacks. The Tacks are short pins designed to be scattered along the ground. Their sharp points will pierce any enemy who steps upon them. Personally, I haven't really used this one or even come across the pin yet, but for the redesign part I had trouble doing the cloak design, so I wanted to reset, and I used the bottom part of the Tacks as a hat for Hornet and did a long big shoulder piece for Hornet to mimic the Tacks placements. This was the final redesign, and next up is Curved Claw and Curved Sickle. The Curved Claw is an arched sharp bone used by hunters to take down flying prey, and the Curved Sickle is a radio sharp bone used by skilled hunters to take down dangerous prey. Design and ability wise, they're both the same thing, and with that, the redesigning part of this, I used two curved claws on both sides, being held by the red thread, and having the red thread going around Hornet's neck. I also added it to her horns to have more of a design on her mask. This is the final design. Next up is the throwing ring. The throwing ring is a hardened throwing weapon of a warrior chakra, blunt force weapon that rebounds between enemies and hard surfaces. For the redesign, I wanted to pay a good portion of the redesign to Chakra in-game. Chakra's design includes a goldish look for her body, but also has disc around her hands. She is also holding the maps on her back, so I wanted to do the same thing as if Hornet was cosplaying her. But in addition, I also added the rings on her Hornet's horns to add more to this design. This is the final design, and next up is the Pim Pillow. The Pim Pillow is a fabric pouch filled with volatile material, explodes on impact with enemies or when ignited by its fuse. You know, for the redesign, I didn't have much in mind, but I just made Hornet more round. Yeah, that's it. Next up is the Flea Brew. Yo! If you are enjoying whatever this is, consider subscribing. It's free and it helps me out a ton. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. Later. The Flea Brew is a beverage prepared by the Flea Caravan. Temporarily increases the speed of movement and attacks. For the redesign, I added 3 Flea Brew bottles as the main part of her cloak, but I thought it was too simple, so I changed her horns to match the same color as the Flea's ears. And I also added Flea's fur on both sides of Hornet's mask. And honestly, this is one of my favorite redesigns for Hornet. This is the final redesign, and next up is the Vault Vessels. Vault Vessels are convertible orbs containing electricity. The vessels can be thrown as a bola of an explosion discharge or staked as a spear to release a column of energy. I have yet to find this in my playthrough of Silksong, so I can't tell you if it's good or not, but for the design we went emo. I had trouble with her cloak design, but since I ended up streaming this on YouTube, chat helped me with the design and we did a purple jacket with some pins coming out of her cloak. With the undershirt being lightning, we also added a clip on her horn with some lightning marks on her mask as well. For an alternate version, we also added Gojo's bandana from JJK as a separate style covering Hornet's eyes. This is the final result, and next up is Cogfly. The Cogfly is a winged cog or companion that will seek nearby foes and attack. This one is a must-have for playing the game. It's so good, especially if you combine this with the poison pouch. For the redesign, we went with a conductor type of hat. We had the closed wings to mimic a cloak for Hornet. We also added 01 for Miku, and if you know, you know. We copied the eyes from the Cogfly and added it to her mask as well. This redesign was probably one of my favorites to do, and here is the final result. Next up is the Plasmium Phial. The Plasmium Phial is a sphere phial containing plasmium. Injecting the liquid allows one to gain health beyond their natural limits. I have not found this in my playthrough yet, but I'm assuming it just mimics some of the charms from Hollow Knight. For the redesign, we went with the Japanese kimono outfit and added a swirlish design on the side of her cloak and mask. We also changed Hornet's mask to mimic the Kitsune mask as well, which honestly turned out great. We also added some water drip design to spice things up. This is the final result and probably one of my favorite ones as well. Next up is Flint Slate. Flint Slate is a sharpening slate made from the cut and polished flint gem. Temporarily superheats the needle's blade, imbuing each slash with flame and increasing damage. With the design, I ended up using the flint as the main part of her cloak, but to spice things up, we made her eyes glow and fiery silk around her cloak and horns. This is the final result, and next up is the Rosary Cannon. The Rosary Cannon is a repurposed mechanism from the base of a rosary stringing machine. Rosaries must be inserted to reload the cannon. I have used this before, it's fun, but you end up losing a lot of your money, so it's not for me since you can't find that much rosaries around. But for the design, we went with a brown cloak with a patch to mimic a similar color to the gear on the cannon. We also went with goggles and a shirt with a gear as a design. This is the final result. Next up is the Silkshot tools. These Silkshot tools are ancient weapons of the weavers, repaired to its original form. Uses shell canisters and the welder's own silk to fire. The other Silkshot tools were repaired by the Forged Daughter and the 12th Architect. For the design, I added the handle of the gun in the bottom left of the cloak. Overall, we went more of a Western look, and since these were the same design, I ended up changing the scarf and the overall straps. For the Silkshot, you choose in game. These are the final results, and next up is the Conch Cutter and the Deliver's Drill. Conch Cutter is a spiral weapon fashioned from a hardened conch spire. Thrown at an angle, it can ricochet and catch prey off guard. The Deliver's Drill is a rotary tool used for a boring into bone and rock. Drives the wielders downwards while spinning the drill with destructive force. These two had a similar design, so I just made them into one, but changing the colors, I added the spiral shells to both of Hornet's horns and made it into the main part of her cloak. These are the final results, and next up is Cogwork Wheel. Cogwork Wheel is an expanding circular blade powered by a cogwork mortar. Propels forward, slicing through foes. And I haven't gotten this yet, but when designing, I had a bit of a samurai inspired for the design, but I also added blades going from the top to bottom of her cloak and added the same blades to her horns. For the cloak, we added a spiral design and we also added some parts from the cogwheel there as well. This is the final result, and next up is Snare Setter. The Snare Setter is a trap setting tool of the weavers. Lays a silk rune that ignites when foes come into contact. Uses shell canisters and the wielder's own silk. I haven't come across this yet, but it sounds super similar to the Flint Slate. For the design, I wanted to use the handle as the top of the cloak, and for the bottom, I just wanted to add the outer part of the snare. This is the final result, and next up is the Needle Phial. The Needle Phial is a tool designed to extract and store fluids. To pierce its targets, the Needle Phial must first be charged to the full tension. I haven't used this at all, but for the design, I wanted her cloak to mimic the dark color as the Phial, and I also added the needle going across her cloak. This is the final result, and for the announcement you guys been waiting for. If this video gets a bit more than 40k views to pass this other redesign video, the next time I do a redesign video for Hornet again, I will learn how to mod, but the best part is that you guys get to choose what outfit gets modded out of the ones I made already. And you're asking to yourself, how do we choose what outfit gets modded? Well, for the next time I make another redesign video, there will be a Google form containing all the little Knights outfits and Hornets outfits. But we can only choose one, so be on the lookout. I will be streaming these redesigns for the next video in a couple of weeks. So if you enjoyed this video, check out the top video. I redesigned Hollow Knight using its charms again. And if you wanna watch a funny art video, check out the turning 50 comments into one drawing. I'll be running that video back with you guys and adding more to that drawing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.